One. Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Scottish Running Podcast. And we've decided to keep going with the ultra theme here after our last guest, Joe Wilson. And we've also got a male member of the Scottish team for the 100K this week, and it is Mr. Dave Shaw, who has an extensive background in, he did Ironman, and he also about 10 years ago, you can find him in results for the Jedburgh Three Peaks and the Devils. Is it the D33 Ultra as well? And then also this year he got his big break and got his run for Scotland. So everyone, please welcome Mr. Dave Shaw, or as on Instagram, Mr. Run Raw.
That's it.
Cheers, thanks for having me on.
Awesome. So how you feeling after your 100K?
Yeah, fine, yeah. For anyone that's knows me and looked at the results, they would have seen it was way short of what I expected. But apart from the still feeling obviously pretty disappointed, but like physically wise, yeah, back to normal. Had kind of 2 weeks off of just uh, maybe two runs a week, and then back to full training as of this week. So yeah, fully recovered physically. So yeah,
Right.
all good.
Fully recovered physically. What about mentally?
Yeah, I'll maybe keep that until I stand at the start line of my next 100K. I don't think a day will go by between now and the next 100K line up for that. I won't
Yeah,
how I got on, but yeah, you know how it is. That's what
that's
it's all
it.
about. And
Yeah, no, fair enough. We'll talk a little bit more about that race later on. But yeah, there's obviously a lot to be proud of there as well. So yeah, no, but we'll come on to that.
yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So let's kick it off with Pete's his lovely 10 questions about our guest. So take it away, Pete.
Good stuff. Yeah, cheers, Sean. Yeah, as Sean said, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, not obviously had the pleasure to actually meet you, but well, I met you briefly when you were running around Perth. Was that last year, wasn't it? You did the
Yeah, that was last year. That would have been last March, I think. At the ATP, I was on my first 100K. Yeah, that
That
was
was it.
right.
That was your 100K debut, and that was Perth last year. And I think what was that 2024, and I was the year before, I think. So there we go. Yeah, and I remember being there that day. I saw lots of Run Raw merch. I saw the hats and stuff. So I was like, I've seen that on the socials. So there we go. Right now, okay, just kickstart. Then we'll just start off with your best achievement in running or your proudest PB.
Um, so I think that my proudest achievement I would say is probably like getting picked for Scotland there. Like that was as a bit of a life goal, as sure we're all aware. So like when that email came in that was happening, I would say yeah, that was my um proudest achievement. Something I've worked towards for I don't know 12 years, 14 years,
Yeah,
maybe like with that as a goal. So yeah, when that came in, yeah, I would say that was my proudest kind of probably running moment. Um, my PB, I don't really remember my PB times. Like I, I don't the actual time doesn't really mean that much to me. It's more like I remember my performance as opposed to my
yeah.
time. So I think I don't know, probably the kind of PB performance I was most proud of was probably when I done Glenmore. So I done Glenmore 24 twice, which was a 24-hour race up in Aviemore.
Yeah.
So the first time I went to do that, I can't remember what year it was actually. I think it was maybe 2015 maybe or 2016, can't remember. And then basically done what most people do in a 24-hour race and die a death after 12 hours. Yeah, suffered it out, but then much like I said earlier on, I thought about that every single day for the next year
Yeah.
back and had a pretty good performance on the day. So yeah, I would say that was a pretty good moment for me, and I think maybe that was the first race I won.
Well, okay.
I think it was, or if not, it was maybe the second, but I think it was the first race I won. So yeah, I would say that's probably the one that I was probably most proud of on the day to
No,
dig it.
decent. Yeah, we'll hear a little bit more about that as well. And so that was Glenmore, and you say you've done that a couple of times. When you won it, then so was that your debut 24-hour race?
Well, so I'd been the year before, but
Right.
so the 24-hour format there's it's much the same as other ones. Obviously, it's 24 hours, but But that one, you're allowed to come off the race course for as long as you want. So I think I can't remember. I'd maybe come off after 12 hours and then into bed for 3 hours.
Yeah,
I was feeling horrendous, and then they allow you to get back up and run then.
yeah.
Whereas obviously like the track ones that I've done since then don't do that. You're timed out for after a while. So, um, but the sorry, but when I back that was the when I won it. That's the first time I'd actually managed to run for the 24 hours.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome. Right, great. All right, thanks for that. Just moving on. Do you have a favourite male athlete at all?
So I knew you were going to ask me this, right? But so, if I thought back, and I think the one is probably controversial, but it's probably the one that I've kind of grew up watching as a teenager, maybe was Lance Armstrong. So I know that'll probably irk some people, and yeah, it's obviously doesn't go with the running theme, but yeah, like during that time when I was right into cycling, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's just unbeatable. And I know there'll be people listening saying, "Well, he was cheating, whatever, blah blah blah." Well,
yeah.
so was everyone else. He was better than everyone else, and what he done for the sport, I think, was amazing. Plus, out with that, we haven't to go on. So yeah, he was my favourite to watch.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
sure Sean will jump in a bit. He's got his views on that, and obviously you
yeah,
probably saw we had a chat with Mark Daly recently, who did the whole
yeah,
experimenting with EPO and stuff, and so that's quite interesting. But no, I mean obviously as an athlete, unbelievable class. But yeah, obviously not everyone will be fond of him for well the
yeah,
cheating that he managed to get away with. But like you say, a lot of them they were all at it, weren't they? But yeah, and I've seen that video. Is it? I'm not massively into my cycling or the Tour de France, but I've seen plenty of clips of that time when he's on one of those hills and he does the Lance Armstrong the look. He just turns around and then sods
yeah,
off up the hill and that yeah. But
yeah. I'm sure that was up Alpe d'Huez if I remember right.
yeah,
I think
but
they
a
come
real
round and
machine
drop the load.
anyway. Whether that machine was tampered with or not, but anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, no, good, interesting shout there. Not had that one before. Moving on, favourite female athlete.
So the one that again you were going to ask me this, but the one that obviously that popped into my head right away, like that I probably enjoy watching the most, or I've watched enjoy the most, is Laura Muir, and
Yeah,
I just I think she's just so good to watch,
yeah,
like the way she races, like and just everything, like like the facial expressions, the pain, like you can see she like I just think like yeah, like watching hers is always good, no matter where she finishes, she doesn't have to win to
yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I've always So
No, definitely, yeah,
uh,
great
that,
shout,
Uh,
and yeah, I think as talk speaking for myself, but as athletes who train hard and try to run aspire to be the best we can, and we like to see an athlete, a top level athlete, grimacing occasionally, and you can see the real work. I mean, obviously, we know that some of the top athletes just that they just look like poetry in motion, and they don't necessarily have that facial expression. But obviously, there's also the ones that we're some of us are clearly skeptical of that. You see certain performances by a certain athlete that now runs for the Netherlands, Sean, and she seems to be yeah, looking like she's out for a walk in the park when she's travelling up at major championships. But yeah, we won't mention her. So yeah,
well,
great
well,
shout for Laura there.
at
With
London,
that,
there she get absolutely destroyed at London, and that was
she did.
very good for me to watch. I loved watching her get destroyed. That was great.
Yeah, she who shall not be named. She's like the Lord Voldemort in the running world, I think. So good shout there. Right, okay. Moving on. Do you have a favourite football team?
yeah. So I'm not massive into football, like I never have been. Like I'm a Rangers man, but I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not massive into football. Like I've maybe watched them if they were on the telly, but and I go to the odd game, but yeah, I'm not massive into it. Doesn't really.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm not
Yeah.
like obviously there's plenty of banter. I'm not even going to go in with it though. I'm just going to move on. I'll let Sean respond on that later if he feels the need to. But okay,
I know
moving on.
you started the trend by wearing a green t-shirt, right enough.
Oh,
So yeah.
there you go. I know. I've got my Liverpool slippers on though. But there we
Aye.
go. Right, moving on. Do you have a favourite movie at all?
Favorite movie? So I think the film I've watched probably more than any other film, I would say, would probably be The Usual Suspects,
Okay.
which I thought don't know I don't know how old that film would be now, but I also watched it when I was fairly young. Like
Yeah.
And I think even now, if I put it on after I've probably seen it over 100 times, like,
Yeah,
and even now, if you put it on, you still notice different things you
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
pick up
yeah,
before. And I just think it's so clever, like how they done it in such a kind of thing at the end that fooled everyone. You know, you're watching it going, yeah, I don't know who Kaiser Soze is, and then yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'd say that
Good
was
shout.
it.
Okay, nice one. Thanks for that. And then moving on, just the most interesting person that you've met through running.
What's this person met through running? I don't know how many people I met through running.
Yeah.
So
Whether that's one of your guys that turns up as part of your squad, whether it's one of the guys you met recently running for Scotland, could be anyone.
do you
Could be
know?
Sean, probably not though.
Do you know? Do you know? I've met I met that many people throughout my life, or as you're both well aware as well. It's probably hard to pick one out. But do you know who? Do you know? I forget the boy's name now. That's obviously maybe not come across as that interest now, but he just came back in the news. When he was making memories name, he's for Bells Hill. He started coaching with Motherwell again.
Tom
Um,
McKean.
yes, yeah,
Tom
that's it.
McKean.
Yeah, I remember meeting him, and I was just a wee guy, tiny wee guy, when I was at some meet at the Kelvin Hall, and I remember I'm sure he called the Bells Hill Bullet. I'm sure that was his
Hmm.
nickname back in the day. And I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
my dad introduced me to him, and he got me to he signed a thing called a wee thing saying to Dave the Balloch Bullet because I was from Balloch. My dad got him to write the Balloch Bullet. So I don't know if maybe he's not the most interesting person I've met, but because he's back in the news, and I remember that like from when I was wee, and he was one of the obviously the the, the top runners from back in the day. So yeah, it's just uh, popped back in my head because it's obviously topical now, given he's back at it, which is good to see.
decent. Yeah, good shot. I'm
Yeah.
sure Sean will come in with that. It's not, obviously I know the name, but I don't really know much about him myself. But no,
Oh,
good shot.
Pete, man.
I
Pete,
know, I
Oh
know.
no,
mate.
he's got quite a good history, like and up there with some other top runners. I won't ruin it for you, but yeah, worth looking into. His kind of
Right.
racing history. It's
I
quite
think I
interesting.
might message Motherwell AC and just say, look, can you put us in touch with Tom to get him on the pod? You know, so
Right. Let's make that happen, and
make it
I'll
happen.
read up about him. I'll maybe read a book. Not that I read many, but there we go. Okay, moving on. Do you have a favourite race at all?
A favourite race, so my favorite race format would be like the 24-hour format because it's one I still dying to crack. But for my favorite race, like a specific race, I would probably say my favorite one I've done would be the Great Glen, which is from Fort William to Inverness. So I've done that twice. I'm probably a bit biased because I've done well on it twice. But I just think that the route is amazing. In both years I've done it, the weather has been outstanding. So I'm not really one that looks at a lot of scenery when I'm racing, to be honest. But even there, it's pretty hard to ignore, and it's just such a yeah, it's just such a great route. Flat and fast first half, bit lumpy in the second half, which
Yeah.
is yeah.
Right. So how far is the Great Glen? How far is that one?
So it's 73-ish miles. I think it's
73
been
miles.
72 before, and then they put it up to maybe 73 or so, or thereabouts. So.
I'm just having a quick look here. You say so you did it 2018. You won it, yeah?
Yeah, so I done it the year before. I think if I remember right, and I was second in it,
Okay.
which was the first time I kind of went beyond the maybe 50-mile mark.
Yeah.
And then kind of like I said earlier, like I just wanted to win it, so I thought that every single day to went back and done it. But that was a pretty tough race. Really warm as well that year.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm just 2018 won the race 11 hours 8 minutes. That's that. Obviously I'm not I'm a newbie at ultra running, done a couple of 100 Ks, but that seems pretty quick to me for that to cover that distance in that time.
yeah, I couldn't tell you what it works out minutes a mile, but
Yeah,
that was a course record for a while, which get beat. I think it's maybe 3 years or 4 years, whatever I stayed with. And I think Jo Wilson won it that year as well.
all right.
You know, Joe's,
Yeah,
she won the race that year as well, which was a good day. But yeah, so I think the course record's been beaten now.
Okay.
I think maybe last year or the year before, it got beaten, which I was quite glad of, because it kind of played in my mind every time the start of July approached. People would start messaging me saying, "Is it going to get beaten? Is it going to be beaten?" And I knew it was there to be beaten, and I think it's there to be beaten again, by a decent distance,
Yeah.
by a decent time. But um, so I'll go back to that at one point
Great.
whenever I can fit it in.
Yeah, no, that's something you should
I
be
think I
really
did
proud.
it the
That's
last.
impressive in itself. Yeah, thanks. Good shout. Okay, thanks for that. Moving on then, do you have a favourite session at all?
Favorite session, just a straight tempo would be
Yeah,
my favorite. Like regardless of the time, like whatever, half
yeah,
an hour. Like well, like longer the better. But yeah, when I see a straight tempo popping up in the plan, like that's
yeah,
what I look forward to the most. I much prefer that instead of like a broken one or
yeah,
any sort of reps. I just love it. Like let's just go at whatever pace and
yeah.
try and hold that. Yeah, that's my yeah.
Yeah, no, good show. I love a
Yeah.
tempo run myself as well. I think sometimes even like doing like you say, whether it's these float sessions or like go, up the distances or time or whatever. Sometimes I find those ones sort of harder mentally to get up for. But yeah, I love a good just hard, honest sort of tempo run. Yeah, good
Yeah,
shout.
certainly
Okay.
no hiding place in a straight tempo. So,
No, that's it exactly, mate. Yeah, good shout. Okay, and do you have a favourite food at all?
coca noodles.
Right. Okay.
Don't know if you're aware of the B&M coca noodle special, but yeah, it's a staple in the Shaw household.
Right. Okay. I'm not sure if but I'm pretty sure we've got a mutual friend who I work with. I'm sure I'll ask her about it. I'm sure that just sounds to me like that's the kind of thing she would eat or that she would buy. So
It's just basically a wee instant 3 minute noodle thing.
yeah, I
So,
feel like I've heard about some noodles from somewhere. I'm not sure if it was B&M though. Maybe it was some. I'll do my research. Right. Okay.
honestly, get into it.
Good stuff. All right. And then the next question. Now, our researchers here at the Scottish Running Podcast have given me some info on this. So I'm gonna just throw you with this little stat first to see if it's true and see whether this affects your next answer. So a little birdie tells me, because obviously the next question is pet hate or phobia, and I've been told that you don't like your beans mixed in with other food. Is that true? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. So that's that. See, there we go. That's proof that the Scottish Running Podcast researchers do their job and they do it well.
Yeah.
Right, moving on.
They should be in a separate dish.
So what is so we can't have that answer unless that is your answer. What is your pet hate or phobia?
I would say I don't have a phobia at all, but what annoys me most is when you pitch up at a race in the start line and you're whatever 10K marathon whatever,
Yeah,
and all the people pitch up at the front that are never going to run around that time. So see, like, seeing you go to a marathon, say like 3 hour pacer, and you stand beside it. Oh, what you try to run a day? 5.5 hours. Like, well,
Yeah.
yeah,
so yeah, and yeah, for the sake of it, like it'll spread out in half a mile. Just
Yeah. It's like, like fair play to you. You train for a marathon, you put yourself in the line, but right in this moment in time, get fucked. Like
I, honestly,
you're gonna cause us a lot of time here.
yeah. And I've not done many busy marathons. Like I don't really like the big races. Like I've done Edinburgh a couple of times, but I think the busiest one I've done Malaga the last 2 years, and I'm going to do Malaga again this year actually. But for the first like 3 miles of that, it's just so busy. Like I just can't go, and you're overtaking people that are clearly never going to be around me after 3 miles. Like, and I'm not the quickest runner in the world. Like, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Valencia's really good like that. Valencia, like if you need to prove that you've got a performance that which get you into that whatever pen. Say it was like say like for me like a 250 pen, but I hadn't ran like a marathon, etc. in the 2 year period. And they were like, okay, right, but you're in the 340 pen. I was just like, mate, come on. Like they said, and they were really strict, like, no,
all
no,
right.
you need to send this. And then I think I won like a miler meet, like 10K. It was like I ran it in like 36:04. I was like, hey, you doing? I won a 10K. How's this sound? They're like, yeah, that's fine. You're in the 250 pen now. And
All right,
then
well, there you go.
actually on the
yeah,
day, they were actually getting, people were trying to get him at the 250 pen. They were just being told, nope. nope,
So,
that's not your bib. You need to go up to that one. So it's good that way, but there is some marathons where they're just it's a free for all.
yeah, I mean, Malaga is probably kind of not as strict as that, right enough, but I mean, you could go into the starting pen and then just shift up, which obviously people do, and I know we all want to be at the front of races, but you know, I'm I'm not going to go to the start line in Malaga when people are going to run 2:12 or whatever they run. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
no,
half a
fair
mile.
enough.
Like, it's half a mile.
Cool.
You
All
know.
right, thanks for that.
Yeah.
I'll just head back over to Sean. I've got some more questions I'll come on to later on, but no, thanks for that, mate. Back over to you for now, Sean.
No, no, just first of all, a couple of you, like you're saying earlier on about Lance Armstrong. I mean, me, I believe Lance Armstrong. He was that during that era, he was just the best on drugs. I think they were all at it. He was just the best. And I think Laura Muir with her silver medal that she got at the Olympics. I think in the future, maybe 10, 15 years, that will get upgraded to a gold at some point.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Although we've obviously seen that happen throughout like other competitions, or whatever. And just think like, what a shit for these people. They should be getting the gold at the time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what you're going to be doing 15 years time, sitting in your living room and you get an email to say you've got a gold medal. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
yeah,
You're now Olympic champion. LOL.
yeah. I know, I know. So yeah, yeah.
It's wild. But yeah, but no, I like a good cheer answers there. But like now we got you on though. You represent Scotland at the 100K. And I asked Joe Wilson this as well, but why ultras? What makes people want to run over the marathon distance? For me, it's just a no. Marathons as far as I'll go, but like just take in the mindset. Like what drives you to do it?
Well, probably one of the things is that I'm pretty rubbish at marathons and any other distance below them. It's probably one of the things I think you're naturally drawn to things you're better at. Like, but I said this to my wee girl earlier on. Like, my wee girl said earlier on, she's like, "Why is it you like running?" And I was like, "Well, there's a lot of things." But I remember when I was a wee guy, and so I was probably about her age now. I was probably about 8 or 9, and I went to the athletics club and I was just rubbish at 100 meters or 200 meters, whatever it was. Like I was just, and I still am. Like I'm just nowhere near anyone. And I remember when I was that age, only wanted to run a mile because that was the furthest distance you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
And I was just proportionally better at it than anything else. Um, so when it came to like kind of adulthood and starting to get into like doing more exercise again, like, not specifically running, like I've never really been that interested in how fast I can go. I just always been more intrigued to say, oh, how far can I go? For me, it's just been more interesting, and obviously, like the two things go hand in hand, like sometimes. But yeah, I just drawn to it, like prefer it, and do you know, like I don't know many marathons I've done. Don't know many marathons I've done in training. They don't really mean that much to me. Like said before we went on, like my I've ran 2:53 in a marathon 6 times. Never ran faster on it because I've never trained for one. Like as soon as I start to train for one, I lose interest. I just go, it's only a marathon. Like I just like the if you go further of it, there's lots of things about it. Like I just probably the number one thing is I just love the pain. Like just love it. Like it's hard to describe apart from that. Just love it. But also like the idea of how far can I go? What's going to give up first? Am I going to is my body going to give up, or am I just going to mentally chuck it?
That's it.
Which I quite like to find that kind of balance. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, don't you? But
Well, that's it. When you're doing these 24-hour races or 73-mile ultra runs, then a marathon is a bit like it's the equivalent of a 100-meter race to you. So I can see why you're not too bothered about it really. But yeah, there's a bit of sadisticness there, I think, with yourself and Joe that like playing those sort of races. But just a quick one before Sean carries on. Obviously, we were chatting to Joe, and a bit like yourself, she's a fan of lots of these sort of crazy races, and there's a lot of miles in the tank, so to speak. She was telling us she's only ever had one injury. So obviously, I don't know a lot about your sort of background and injuries. Do you struggle with injuries? I mean, I don't know how anyone with sort of Joe's caliber has only ever had one injury. What
Yeah.
about yourself?
no, probably similar. I think I've maybe only ever had one injury apart from niggles.
Really?
So probably kind of similar to her. And fun
Wow.
enough, I've actually get when I was down to ACB with Joe a couple of weeks ago. We've actually got a very pretty similar race history, funnily enough. But the ones we've done. But no, I think I've only ever really had one injury that's kind of stopped me like actually running, which is maybe 2021 or 2022, I think. Maybe just basically rolled my ankle up a hill. And then had maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 months off. I get pretty unfit after it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's still sort of this day. Went to physio about it and done all the things. And the physio eventually said, just look, um, just go run full pelt on it. If it hurts more, come back. If it doesn't hurt more, don't come back. And then I've not went back. It still gets sore day to day. It's like that's, I don't know, 4 years. And sometimes I stand up for the couch. It just gives way.
Right.
But then 5 months later, I can go out and run 20 miles full pelt, so it doesn't really impact me. So
Yeah.
that's the only actual injury I've had, yeah. So just that one.
Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Sound,
Maybe it's running these large amount of miles. Then that just makes the body that strong.
Yeah, maybe, who knows.
maybe you need a wee gym program, strengthen that area.
Yeah, I do a gym program once a year. I do other stuff like I do kind of circuit classes like when I can, but it's the first thing to go. Like I'm never going to not go running to go to the gym or do strength stuff. Like never. Like and I don't like it. D-
Um,
Don't don't mind doing the circuits because I like the intensity of it. But see the let's go do whatever 15 reps of calf raises. Like not interest. Get it done.
yeah,
Out there.
like I'll do all that stuff knowing that I can run. But see, when I was out for 6 months there with my leg, like see going to the gym and I tried it. I did try go on the cross trainer. I tried to go on the bike, but my arse was killing me, and I just couldn't. Like it was my arse was just. I was like, wow, this is. But the main thing, I was just bored. It was just bored. See you
Uh,
staring at the screen in the gym. I was like, no, like I'll take the hit. I'll come back running really unfit, and I'll just build there.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. It's funny you say that, like just staring at the screen. Like very occasionally, I'll do a treadmill session, like more so in the
Mm.
lead up to a race if the weather's rubbish and I don't want to go out and slip and roll an ankle. But oh, it's horrendous. Like you do half an hour and you feel like you've been there for 5 hours. Like oh, it's yeah, get
Like
me out.
you do like tempo pace, and you're like, why does this feel so terrible?
Yeah, yeah, that is awful, absolutely awful. Just go out.
I know.
Uh-huh.
So like we said, it's like where you started, going to athletics at 8 or 9, etc. And then in school, you didn't like doing the short ones. It was always you wanted to do the mile, etc. But we can see like from like obviously your power and ten and stuff, like your ultra background goes way way before. You were qualified for Scotland, like you said, 12, 14 years you were looking for. But what was your first like big ultra race that you did?
So I think the first one I done was the Jedburgh Three Peaks. I don't actually know if that race is still on anymore or not. I would assume it is. But basically, before that, I'd done an Ironman triathlon. Like it was a rat race one. It was a off road run, and I was wanting to do pretty well at triathlon at that point, and thought my run could be improved. So I think I picked an ultra. It was the first one I could see, it was the Jedburgh Three Peaks. Then I've never cycled or swam since. So I don't really remember much about the Jedburgh race. To be honest, I couldn't tell you my time. I don't even know how far it is. 30 odd miles. Can't really remember now. But yeah, that was the first one, and then after that, that was me. Like just this is me. I'm doing this. I
Yeah,
just fell in love with the pain.
I'm guessing Jedburgh Three Peaks. I'm guessing it was quite hilly then.
Yeah. So well, the three peaks were all in the middle. So if I remember right, you ran out on a kind of cycle path, kind of towpath type thing. The three peaks were in the middle, like all kind of together, and then back in the same way. But obviously it was years and years ago. I can tell you much climbing was in it, and um, but yeah, I do remember the first hill biting quite a lot back then. I don't remember how much hill training I was doing. I imagine I was probably pretty hill fit there as well, like um, because of the Ironman training I'd done for the off road stuff. But yeah, so anyway, I did Three Peaks was the first one.
Nice. And what Ironman was it you did?
So it wasn't the Ironman brand. The company Rat Race that I think they still do some type of running races, albeit they're pretty pricey. It was City to Summit. It was called. So you swam in Edinburgh between the bridges. You cycled from Edinburgh to Ballyghaolish and then ran from Ballyghaolish onto West Highland Way up and down Ben Nevis.
Oh,
So I think I done all right again. I think I was six. I think I finished sixth in it, and
it's good.
I think I was maybe low 13 hours. I think, which is all right uh, if you're into Ironman, people want to do sub 10 hours, but obviously it's not really possible on that
Yeah.
course, or
Yeah.
it's not for me.
That's impressive. Like a marathon up and down Ben Nevis as well. Like that's and you did 13 hours. That's good. Really
So,
good.
somebody could look it up, and I might be corrected, but from my memory, it's 13 hours. So, I would have been 6 hours on a bike for 120 miles, an hour swim. So yeah, I would have been 13 hours. Yeah, so I was pretty handy on a bike back then as well, but not so much now.
Maybe you need to take a tip for Lance Armstrong.
Maybe I.
No. But yeah, so like, after like you did the ultras and stuff, you just decided, that was you. This is me. I'm gonna commit to ultras now. And then what was the kind of target in mind after the Jedburgh one? So the Jedburgh Three Peaks. What was the kind of other one? Was it in Scotland or was it abroad you're looking at?
No, so I've never raced abroad, but well, apart from Malaga, but no, just for the sake of ease and family and things, it's easier to race here. So I think at the time, I think I probably had my eyes in the West Highland Way. I would imagine because that was probably, yeah, I would have done would have been the West Highland Way. So it's always a race that's in living in Balloch. It's only like it's so local. Like you're aware of
Yeah.
it every year. So that was always on the list to do once, and it was only ever going to be done once. So that was probably a long term goal. I can't really remember what I'd done in between. Like I'd done the West Highland Way in 2016. Can't remember what I'd done. Like maybe the year before. I don't know if that was either I tried Glenmore or if I'd maybe done the Great Glen. I can't remember, but it would have been eyes on. It would have been eyes on the West Highland Way at that time, which I then get through the ballot the first time of asking, which we all know can be a challenge,
Yeah.
and I managed to do it that year.
And that was
Right.
2016, was it, Dave? Yeah.
I think that was 2016. Yeah,
Right. And sorry, because how did you get on then? How did you find the race?
there's probably going to be a theme developing here, right? But um, I was pretty disappointed with my performance in that, so much so that I've never actually opened the box that the goblet is in. Um, so it could be an empty box, who knows? But yeah, I can't remember what my target was. I think my target would have been 18 hours probably because I would just have judged myself on others that I thought I
Yeah.
would have been around. Um, and yeah, I just suffered not pretty early on, probably from I remember going into Glencoe and being pretty sick in the car park, and then some pretty much here. Wasn't a death march, but it was pretty yeah, pretty painful. I stupidly ran up the climb at the Devil. Don't know why. Ran up
Yeah.
it then. Yeah, my race was done. Like down into Kinloch leaving, and I've still got no memory of being in Kinloch leaving. Like I've seen videos of myself there going in to get weighed and
Yeah.
off the wall, and yeah, don't really have much of a memory of that wee bit, but yeah, it was always going to be a one and done, no matter how I'd done. Like I always said, I'll do it once and never again.
Yeah.
I would maybe do it as it's like a day out or a social run, like let's go and do it. But the,
Uh-huh.
the race, no, I've got no interest in getting back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. Fair enough.
What about you, Pete? You gonna do it?
No, I've told you like the obviously it is kind of like a bucket race list, and the thought of it does really appeal to me. But no, I just when you actually put your think about it and how tough the amount of pain and what to actually do that, I don't think it's for me. I can't, as you know, I'm a road runner. I can run on flat roads, so I don't think that's one that's really for me. So
It's a big commitment if you're a road runner because you need
exactly,
you
yeah,
need to change your training for so long. Like
100%, yeah.
yeah.
the
Yeah.
body take time to adapt.
So what did you actually do? Can you? I know it's not. You haven't got fond memories of it. Can you recall what you ended up with then, Dave? What was your time?
1920
Okay.
something maybe, I think.
Okay.
Give
Still
or take.
impressive, mate. Still impressive.
I think thank you. And kind of looking back now, like yeah, I was maybe a bit hard on myself, but yeah, the goblet's been there for 9 years and it's not been open, so yeah.
Yeah, and sorry, apologies. I might have already missed you. So obviously, we just talked about the West Highland Way there. We know you've had some other tough races, but you can't when you're doing these big sort of proper races. With the mileage we're talking about, if they go wrong, then they are going to go. You can't nail every single one. That's not possible. So you've had some highs and some lows. I guess it's fair to say in running. So what would you? I know you just spoke about the West Highland Way. So what's the toughest race that you've ever done? Would it be that, or have you been in? Have you found anything harder? Have you been in more pain? What's been your toughest race, whether it's a more recent one or not?
Uh, so I think the most pain I've probably been in, I done Hardmoors, 115 or 110 they call it. I think they call it 110, but it's actually maybe 120 miles or
Right.
thereabouts. But end up not finishing that race. I think I pulled out 85 or something miles. Like, but oh my God, that was horrendous. Like, I went into that probably like the fittest I'd been at the time. At the time, like I'd definitely never been fitter, never done more climbing, never felt better on the hills.
Yeah.
Um, but oh my God, it was it was horrendous. Like from pretty early on, like I remember it was probably about the marathon distance, 25 miles, 30 maybe, that I was cramping in both my quads, both my hamstrings, and both my calves all the time. Like, and this lasted until like 65 miles. Like, so it was all the time. Like, and I just couldn't stop. It was absolutely horrendous. But that wasn't the reason I chucked it. Like, I kind of sucked up a bit and was just meandering on. But when I got to like the 80 odd mile bit, I'd went the wrong way twice in the dark. Added on some extra distance, but when I came into an aid station, like, I realised like I hadn't I hadn't peed all day, and this had been I don't know 18 hours in or whatever. My kidneys were throbbing, and then that was somebody else. Not well, I made the decision, but it was Robert Burke or Bob Burke that was down supporting me. He said he's like,
Yeah.
you can go and finish this, and you might never run again, or you can just pull
Mm.
out and be running again in 2 weeks. And I was like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's
That,
dangerous.
that was it. And it's first experience that at the time, and as much as it was first race I'd never finished. It was the right decision. Like I've probably not finished all the races, and it's not been the right decision, but that one, yeah, absolutely was. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
dangerous when your kidneys start throbbing and you've not peed all day. Yeah, that's time to just
yeah,
pull a plug and just get your body right.
yeah, yeah, tough day. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Oh, well, like I said, ultra's not for me, and that's one of the reasons why I'm
you need to feel the
just.
pain, man.
I'll just try and run harder over the marathon and trying to replicate some sort of pain.
Yeah,
But
your kidneys will be fine, Sean. You don't need to worry about that. You'll be all right.
I know, man. I know.
um,
So,
yeah,
no, on
well,
you go, Pete. On you go, Pete.
okay, so I don't know if I was going to jump in what you were going to say, but I was actually just going to move on then to in fact, sorry, just before I do that, I was going to say obviously you've done at least a couple because I know that the power tenors are always up to date, but you've done at least a couple of the 24-hour track races as well at Tooting Bec. So just tell us, and I know that's a slightly different format. I think you were saying obviously you can't really have a timeout period in that. It's the rules are slightly different, but I mean they must be pretty tough. I mean obviously even just mentally going around a 400-meter track. So yeah, and I think you covered some pretty decent distance if this is right on the second one that you did. So yeah, how have you found those races?
Well, as much as it's 24-hour racing, if you go through a power of 10, you'll need to add all my races together to get over 24 hours. So for a track race, which probably says to how tough they are. So
Yeah,
basically, I've done three
okay.
24-hour track races. So I done Tootenbeck, and again I forget the years, but the first one I done absolute shitter. I was in a huff from the start. Like it was pissing the rain in London, sunny everywhere else, pissing the rain. you had to manually count your lap times, or people manually timed your laps.
Right.
You're getting it wrong because the way it worked at the time was as you went round the bend, you had to wave to whoever's counting a lap.
That's
But every person was counting four people.
Right.
Sometimes you're almost going around the next corner and you're still waving. And do you know, I shouldn't have let it bother me, but it did. And it bothered me from 2 minutes in. And then, so I can't remember when, but I pulled out and again, I can't remember the rules, but I think maybe if you're off the track for 4 hours, that's a DNF, I think,
Okay.
right.
give or take. So chucked that. And then, as I said earlier, I thought about it every day, went back the next year. Probably had one of the best races I've had, like up until a certain point.
Right.
Feeling amazing, was on target. Like my wife was counting and timing every one of my laps that time. Then when I got to 97 miles, my knee just popped, and then that was it. Like I could barely walk, so just hobbled round to get whatever my finish distance was, 105 miles or whatever it was. So finished that, and then that was game over.
Right.
Uh, and then went to Gloucester. I think there was a COVID break. Obviously, went back to Gloucester in 2022 maybe. And yeah, just melted. It was a heat wave, like 38 degrees. Wasn't prepared for it, but I
Yeah.
think that, it's just such a tough format. Like, and see when you compare that to like the West Island Way that we spoke about, people I think automatically think that's harder because you're going up and down hills, like you're climbing 15,000 feet or whatever it is, and on the track it's nothing. But it's just so hard. Like every step you take is the
Mhm.
exact same. Like
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's just so tough. Like there's no reprieve at all from it, and it's just so physically hard. Like I probably don't find the mental side is harder, but it's just so physically tough. Like
Really, right? Okay,
yeah,
that's interesting. That because I obviously I've never done anything like that, but I'd have thought, you say how physically tough it is, which clearly it would be, but I would
yeah.
find the monotony of just going around a 400-meter track like tough. But you've obviously coped with it pretty well. In fact, I'm just looking on here, assuming this is accurate. I think you was at 2018, 115 you covered, and then went back in the following year, 2019, 172. So that was some improvement anyway.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a miles man, so that doesn't really mean much to me. But
Yeah, just
uh, but yeah, that'd be right. But obviously, I've still not got it right, and went to Gloucester again, and
right.
went to Gloucester to do it. But that's like much like the kind of Scottish team. Like the dream has always been to hit the GB standard for that. So I'm going back to it's not Beck anymore. It's Battersea, but it's the same
Okay,
race,
right.
and that's been the dream. Like to go there and hit the qualifying standard for that, which is get up and up over the years. But I believe I can do it, and that's always been the A goal for
Right.
24-hour racing because it's just what I enjoy the most and
Good
what
stuff.
what, what I want to be the best at.
Good stuff. Okay.
Mhm. What is the GB standard for it?
So I don't know what it was back in the day, but I think the last time I looked, it was like 157 miles. I think for guys, I couldn't tell what the female one was, but I think it's 157 miles for guys.
Wow.
So
Mm.
it's pretty decent going. But I mean, some people run way beyond that. Like there's a boy that ran for England at the ACP, Matt Field, his name is.
Yeah.
He's got the GB record, which is I think 175 miles for it, which is unbelievable. Like I remember tracking it on the day, like and yeah, just going and going. Like so, some people run unbelievable distances, but it's a tough old format.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, I mean, ultra's something else, but again, but running for 24 hours is, wow. Yeah, that's another one. I'm just like, oh, no, 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 absolutely not.
But and do you know, I say to other people like it's tough to do anything for 24 hours. Like sit in a chair for 24 hours, lie in your bed for 24 hours. It's hard. Like and yeah, but it's a it's a team sport. Like my wife goes to every race that I do, like or every big race, and feeds me, times all my laps, does everything. It's a harder shift for the support crew. Like all I do is run.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, fair
yeah.
play. I would just on that note, I say, obviously you're obviously a busy man. We'll talk a little bit about your run raw, the coaching that you do as well. But obviously you've got your wife and it's three kids you've got as well. How do you manage to fit in all the training then?
Well, yeah, it's pretty difficult at times. Like work full time as well, obviously. Like
What is it you do? Sorry, Dave.
I'm in the police.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, yeah,
Work full time as well, three kids and my wife. But again, it's only because my wife allows me to do it and does everything else. Like like gives up her goals for the sake of following me around the country and doing whatever I want to do.
yeah,
Go do these races. So that's the only reason I can manage it. And I think it is like I think running, certainly for me, I think running's a bit of a selfish sport because it's only me that gets stuff out of it, and that's probably not 100% accurate, right? But it's me that's out there doing it. It's me that's going to do the training. It's me that's spending all this money to go and do these races
yeah.
Hmm.
all the time away for the kids. It's a lot, but it's a team sport, but it's a tough going.
Yeah, well, you've obviously got a good, supportive wife and good family unit, and it obviously works, So fair play. Not that you need advice from me, but keep doing what you're doing, and we're excited to see you back at these events that we know there's at least a couple. You've got some unfinished business, that mate. So good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, there's a few that they're piling up and up, so they
Maybe
are.
there's a few then. Yeah, you and me both. But I was just to jump on a little bit then, because in what we should say, and I think you should be very proud of this performance. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. I think this was your obviously you ran much further than this, but this was your debut at the 100k distance. So you did your 100k. Your first crack at it was in Perth, up in Scotland in March last year,
Yep.
and I think that was on your debut. So you did 7 hours 22 minutes there. So that was a pretty impressive. I mean, obviously, and that's got you some recognition, and it's probably the key, if not the main factor in why you got your Scotland selection for this year. So, tell me a little bit about that race. You absolutely smashed that on debut. I mean, I'd be interested to know what your target was going into that race, and how the race panned out. And just before you answer that sort of question about that race in Perth, where I was spectating, just to add a note in there, I'm looking at the result here. You were only one place behind Henry Hart, who, as we know, won this year's race. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, we know he's got marathon pedigree and stuff. So maybe he didn't quite run to his full potential, but nevertheless, you were. You were 7:22, he was 7:14, so you weren't far off him, and he was running for Scotland that year, I believe, and that I don't know whether that spurred you on at all, thinking, I can do that. So yeah, tell me about Perth last year.
yeah. Last year had been on the radar for a while, and I think so obviously, as I've said a couple of times, like the Scottish thing was always going to be a target. So like the ACP was going to be like the race I was going to do regardless of where it was. Like I would have went anywhere for it.
Yeah,
Um, and the only goal for that was to beat the qualifying standard. So I actually applied for the Scottish team that year, and get knocked back.
right.
I can't remember when the email came in. I think it comes in either end of December, or start of January. It was the start of January this year, but I think last year it was the start of January, and yeah, I don't know. You can imagine any knockback's not great. So was just like, and I just use it to spur me on in training. Like again, thought about that every single day. Like kept the email, a picture of the email on my phone, read it all the time, and I was like, I'm going to go to Perth, and I'm going to, I'm going to beat that qualifying standard, and that's what I done. That was the only goal. Like I think, I think I ended up running pretty much the time I thought. Obviously, give or take a minute, it's hard to predict. Like, I would have maybe I've been looking for 7:15 ish, maybe can't remember, but it's kind of the minutes are kind of insignificant. So
Yeah,
on the day, yeah, it was pretty good. Felt pretty good in the day. I kind of changed my plan almost immediately into the race. Like I think I was supposed to start at 6:50s maybe. I think was my plan.
Hmm.
As soon as I started, I thought I was like, I'm just forcing it a little bit much. So I just eased off, and I think my first marathon was sub 3 hours, so there was always only seconds in the mile, so I would have ran like 6:53, whatever. But so I just eased off, and obviously paid off in the second half. Like I did slow in the second half. Like, I think that maybe started to bite around about the 50-mile mark that day. I think up until
yeah,
then I was all right. Like felt pretty decent. Started to bite then. Had to start to dig deep to keep the pace. But yeah, Perth obviously like so different to other races. Like the loop is small, which suits me for one.
yeah,
I really liked that. Like Run Raw had 15, 16 runners maybe. doing the 50K or the kids race, as I kept calling it to everyone else.
It's race.
Yeah.
Just a wee 50K, yeah.
Aye. So and then plus we're at, I knew so many other people there, so there was constant support. Like
Yeah,
you were hardly running 100 meters without seeing somebody you knew. So,
that's good,
but
yeah.
all that, it was a pretty good it was a pretty good day all around, and
Yeah,
managed to dig in, and that's probably the best I've felt at the end of a race like that. Like, and that was the first race I've never stopped to go to the toilet or stopped to pick up food ever.
yeah,
Like just constantly. It was yeah, like pretty focused. Like
yeah,
every second. Like and plus like from my wife as well. Like as I say, she does all my food, so
yeah,
she's pretty tuned in what I need here.
yeah.
Whatever.
I hope you kept the beans separate then anyway. So
Yeah, she did. That's right. They were well off. Well off.
good, good, good. Right, and so right before Sean comes back in, we should move on. So we need to obviously talk about this year's race. So I think what was it, 3rd of May? So not that long ago. Obviously, it was the Mallory race circuit. So yeah, tell us a little bit about the course as well, because obviously it's on a natural racetrack as far as I know. And yeah, listen. First of all, as I've said to you, I've messaged you obviously at the time, but massive balls for finishing. And before we know you're disappointed it didn't go to plan individually, but we should just mention here as well that again, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you were part of the team though that won gold. Scotland won the ACP team event, and I think I was informed probably by yourself that it was the only year that all members of the Scottish Anglo-Celtic plate team actually finished. So listen, that's impressive in itself. So yeah, we know it didn't go to plan. So where are we? Let's just have a look. Finishing time. What we,
I don't even know what my finishing time is. I couldn't tell you. But no idea.
I've got here, if this is correct, 8 hours 43. So
Yeah.
Tell us about. I mean, as I said, proud achievement running for Scotland. You finished the race, so there's lots of people that I know would be really proud of you for that, and you should be as well. But obviously, yeah, tell us about that race and anything else you want to add about the whole experience.
Yeah. So see as experience, like all in, it was brilliant. And
Yeah,
pulling a Scotland vest for the first times,
Yeah.
pretty good. Like yeah, I'll remember that for a while. But yeah, like as far as the race course goes, it's on a motor racing racetrack. So
yeah,
we went down the Friday. Me and one of the other boys from the Scottish team that I'd done some of the training with, checked out the course first and thought, was like, that hill is a bit of a hill, which wasn't really probably wasn't steep. Well, I say that on the Friday night, it wasn't that steep, but yeah, certainly steeper. So I thought my plan there was I thought I could run sub 7 is what I thought. I thought that was my goal going into it, and I thought that's what my training looked like. So we pitched up, seen the hills up, and yeah, it's pretty spicy after a bit. So and I
Mhm.
thought I could still run 7:0 something. But then yeah, obviously that never happened, and I knew that pretty early on. So and again, I probably changed my plan there. Like within the first minute, like it started at the far side of the course and round the corner and feeling the wind. I was like, "There's no way I'm going to try and hammer it into this wind." I was like,
yeah,
I'll just slow down." But I purposely slowed down, or eased off a bit. But I just felt terrible from early on. So I kind of dropped back a bit purposely. And the boy Mike had travelled down with, I seen he was behind me and ran with him for a bit, and um, I think it was maybe about an hour and a half into 2 hours in. He's like, "How you feeling?" I was like, "Yeah, I feel good." Like, don't,
who was that, Dave? Sorry,
yeah, Mike Decent. So
Mike Deason. Oh yeah, I know Mike. Yeah,
yeah, so he's coached by Casey as well. So ran with him a bit, and there was a bit of chat. And he was like, "How do you feel?" I was like, "Yeah, I feel good." Like, and it did the time. My legs felt good, but I felt a bit rubbish, and I wasn't going to say it out loud. Didn't want to trick myself into feeling rubbish,
yeah,
but yeah, I just felt shit. Like 2 hours in, maybe it just felt shit, and you've done, don't know, 18 miles by that point, and I just knew then that wasn't going to be my day. So Mike went off, and I just started my sufferfest from basically that point, and yeah, so yeah, I just get progressively slower as you do, and look at your watch and see your time going and going. But yeah, that was pretty. it was a pretty tough one to take, but like it is good to know that if I need to in a race, and hopefully I don't, I can still dig it out for 40 miles if I need to.
Yeah,
Whereas, so yeah, you learn
Yeah,
more from bad races, don't you? But yeah, all in all, pretty underwhelming day. Not what I was out to do, but that's
yeah.
it. You take the highs with the lows, don't you? So
That's
that's
it. Yeah, no, and obviously, as I said before, there are some positives there. Obviously, not. I mean, we know that the overall time, your individual, but that's the important. We know that's what you were going for. It didn't work out on that occasion, but it's not going to happen every time. But yeah, as I said, just use that to spur you on, mate. Like obviously, the year before it was not getting the knockback from Scotland, so yeah, maybe get that the email of or the result. Maybe have that
yeah.
instead of that email now. You can use that instead. But yeah, bigger things to come from you, and good luck with whatever's next. Oh, sorry. On that note, are you already looking at the 100K next year? What's your next goal coming up? Whether that's short term, have you got anything planned?
Just well, I'll do a couple of fun races over the summer, like 10Ks and things. But the
Yeah,
next thing's the Battersea 24 hours. So like the ACP result aside, I was already kind of fairly set in my next few years. So I thought I'll
yeah,
do the ACP in the next 2 years because I
right,
thought, and even if I'd ran amazing at ACP and if it ran 7 hours, I still think I can get faster. I had a
yeah,
pretty interrupted year after the ACP last year. Didn't uh, manage to train in the second half, so
yeah,
uh, pretty interrupted year. But even if I'd ran good, I think I would have finished that knowing I could go quicker next year.
yeah.
So, whether I'm the Scotland team or not next year, obviously fire my name in and see if I can get selected. But yeah, I'll be ACP next year. Is the plan? Um,
what about
so
what about these crazy ultras like the Barkley Marathon? You were gonna go for something like that?
I don't really fancy the battle to be honest. Like I like running, like, and I
Yeah,
think they're more of a more of a hiking thing to be honest, or whatever. Maybe people will disagree, but I want to run and say like my interest is in road now. Like I used to do a bit of trails, used to do a bit of mountains, but yeah, it's all I just want to run the road. That's all.
yeah,
So
yeah. Because I've seen that Barkley Marathon, I'm just like, that's not running. Like you're having to like climb up like the faces of like it's not mountains, but it's like these hills that have got all these trees and that they're so steep. I'm like, that's not running. Like you can't like it's not for me either, but
nah,
each,
I mean,
each to their own.
see the people that do it. Well done. Like admire them. Like in I follow it every year on Twitter. Like loads of folk do, and most
Yeah,
runners do probably. But yeah, it's not for me. If that's your
No,
thing, go for it. But nah, I want to run on the road, and yeah,
yeah,
that's me.
too right. And you get any plans to get a marathon PB, maybe break 250? Because you'll have bags of strength now. You just need to put the sprinkle on top now.
So I've seen a bit of folk that have asked me that. Like, do you know what? I think I could go out right now and PB in a marathon, but no is the short answer to that.
fair
No, so I've got more interest in the 24 hour run. Yeah, like see if I could have found a marathon for July, like start of July that I could have went into with a decent bit of training, a wee bit of speed stuff. I would have maybe have done one, but I wouldn't have focused on it, like because seeing push comes to shove, like I just don't have the drive for it. Like I just don't like I can't really bring myself to go out and say, right, let's do a whatever, a 20 mile hard run unless it's got 5 miles or 10 miles either side of it. Like, just
Yeah,
not. Yeah. Like,
fair enough.
I'll do Malaga at the end of the year again, but yeah, I'll see what comes of that. But I certainly wouldn't like have a year of saying I want to get to 230 or whatever because times don't mean anything to me, as you'll probably noticed. But the
Mhm.
performance, yeah, but doesn't really mean anything to me.
Ah, fair enough. But you never know, but you I believe that you do get a wee inkling. Yeah, you would smash that marathon PB and you've got bags of strength there, so
Uh, yeah, I think so. Maybe one day. I don't know. Won't rule it out, but yeah.
maybe one day. I mean, what I'm mainly looking forward to is like 1 year when Pete finally actually, gets fit again. And it's like you two like going for the win at like some 100K race, somewhere. And it just like when then you outkick Pete and then I'll be there with the GoPro to capture it. Oh, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I don't know if I've got much of a kick in me. I think if I was going to win it, I'd need to do it a good 5 mile before. But I don't know. I've never had much of a kick in me. But
No, we were
Yeah,
up in Sunday there. Pete came second at Houston 10K,
I
and
do you know what, I seen that actually just before we spoke.
uh, he's Pete's come back on.
Are you doing any of the Babcocks?
do you know what? I was contemplating it. In fact, I've been one of our listeners has been bantering me. You'll know, Sean. I've already had a message from Ninka from our club telling me that I'm going to get chicked on Thursday, and she's scared me off. I've actually bottled it, not because yeah, it is because of that reason. No, I was contemplating doing Dumbarton. I mean, I work in Dumbarton anyway, as you probably know. So, but no, I'm in a bad way. I've still the lower back still screwed. And in fact, I won't say how, but I've also slightly hurt my neck yesterday. Actually, I'm falling apart. I'm just too old. I'm at the stage now where just everything aches. So I was going to do it, but no, I haven't run tonight. I'm going to maybe do something a bit quicker tomorrow. I'll see what I do. But no, possibly might do Helensburgh, but more just to give me a bit of a motivation and kick up the backside because I'm really, really not fit at all. It's pretty frustrating, to be honest. But yeah, no, I don't know. I might try and find an autumn marathon, but at the moment I'm night and day from anywhere. I've a minimum of half a stone overweight, and not just that on its own, but I'm just not fit. I'm sure I think you said you've got to a point before where you were quite unfit. So yeah, it's a long road back, but I'll do my best to get there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
go. But so just moving on, less about me. So I should say, obviously not just we'll give you a little plug as well, but I'm sure you don't need us doing that. You're pretty established in what you do. So whatever your level, whatever the clouds, I believe is a little tagline. So tell us a little bit about Run Raw. Obviously, you're known as Mr. Run Raw. I like the name, by the way. So tell me where the name even came from. And I think we spoke before. And to your Argyle Park, in Alexandra or near Ballock. Every Monday, 5:30, and I think has it been going for sort of 7 years or more. And I guess you must have a large squad of guys. I've seen them out when I've been running around the bar and track myself. You might recall I bumped into one of them that was wearing your merch.
At the track,
So yeah,
that's right. Aye.
tell us
Yeah,
about Run Raw.
yeah. So the club's been going for it's 4 years now. So basically, how the name came about is it's just a play in my name, like Dave Shaw, but
Yeah.
get three kids and their names all start with R. Uh,
Okay.
then my wife came in one day, like yeah, see again, it was my wife, like, but she came in one day and she said, do you know, I think if you ever made running trainers, like we could call them R Shaws after the kids, and then she went, oh no,
uh,
that's a rubbish name. So what just calling them Raws, like ditch the S, and then that was it. So then it was Run Raw, yeah. So I started to do a bit of coaching. Before, yeah, a couple of years before COVID, just I wasn't interested in it. And was coached and taught swimming years ago. Um, but then obviously COVID happened, and then all the kind of clubs died away. Like the Jog
Yeah.
Scotland had disappeared, and
hmm
I'd been part of a run club before that I'd seen like retrospectively, like looking back at it, I'd seen like people coming along for the first time, like women in particular, and beginners in particular, they've turned up for a session and they're saying whatever we're doing 3 times a mile, whatever it is, 3 to 1 go, everyone would go off, and then they'd be left behind, never be seen again, or worse, never run again.
Yeah.
So when it came to that, I realised Jog Scotland wasn't a thing because of COVID. Like, I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I was like, I feel like run's given me so much. I was like, I'm just going to start to do a session. I was like, so at the time, I would do my own speed sessions on a Monday, and I can't remember why that was. Like, because it's obviously kind of different to the kind of standard layout. I can't remember why, but anyway,
Yeah.
so I just started saying to people like, let's go along here. Come on, we'll do it round Argyle Park, which obviously people ask if it's a running track, but it's not. It's just a tarmac loop in a park, which um, it's just about, I think it's point 0.4 of a mile long. So just started saying to people that I'll put on a free session. Like I don't want any money for it. I was like, all I want is for people to be welcome and people to encourage others. So if you overtake somebody or somebody overtakes you, just say well done.
Yeah.
As we go around. So it just kind of started from there. And I thought, like, I honestly, genuinely thought, as soon as the clocks changed, it get dark at night. it would have disappeared.
Yeah.
And I thought, we'll see you again in March. But the clock change kept going up, and I can't remember any people there at the time. Like, I remember there was so many people coming that at the time I was worried because of the COVID numbers, right? Whatever that was, 25 maybe, can't remember.
It's all right. We won't tell the police. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's been and gone now. But so when the clock changes, you just get busier, and I just noticed like it get busier with particular women
Yeah.
that come down because obviously it's like a safe space for people, and so after that it just get bigger and bigger, and then now like it's between I think the most it's been down in a night is 70 people. Like
Wow, that's impressive, mate.
it's like a normal week is 50 odd folk. Like
Yeah, and sorry, just to jump in there, is that on a Monday? Is that free? Is it?
yeah, it's free. So
Yeah,
and and I did kind of half think about it at the start, like oh, maybe I should charge £1 or whatever,
a pound a pop. Yeah,
but I thought that's going to put one person off one time from coming.
yeah,
And I
Yeah.
don't want that. I was like, let's just come. It's not costing me any money. We'll
yeah,
just do it. We'll all be together. And then that was the thing, like we start together and we finish together because that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be for anyone, so it didn't matter. And at the times I ran the sessions, I don't ever run the sessions now. I just kind of run about and jog around and speak to people. But at the times I
yeah,
was doing that, I was doing my session before it, and then I was doing that session, like the Run Raw session.
yeah,
Um, but that was the thing. Like, I mean, I can go down and run full pelt, or you could have come down and walked the full thing.
yeah,
You
Mhm.
know, that was it because it was all timed. So I don't ever do distance stuff. So I don't ever do 3 times a mile or 800-meter reps. It's always like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, because
yeah.
that's it. Like we do
Mhm.
everything together, like whatever your level, you know. So that's what it.
Yeah.
Good.
Like
So
everyone starts
that's
and
what it's all
finishes at
came
the same
from.
time.
Sorry, say that again.
I was just saying like that's good because like, then everyone starts and finishes at the same time, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and there's
and I think like so I get more people there every week than all the other clubs in the area combined, right? And I
right.
live in Bath, small place, right? And there's 60 or 70 folk there, and I think that's why it's for anyone. Like it's not, I don't ask for anything, and it's
No,
for
so
anyone.
that's awesome. It's almost like you're a one man park run. Do you know what I mean? You have started a little. Obviously, it's not clearly not on that scale, but nothing is. Like that's
Not
amazing.
yet,
Was that not yet? Not
not
yet.
yet.
There you go. But no, it's good. It's basically like a local park run, isn't it? But on a Monday night,
Yeah,
and it's just gone from strength to strength. So fair play. But so yeah, and I think we spoke just beforehand. I just saw it on social media fairly recently. You can tell me a bit more. I see you also do the Capital Run Club, and I should say as well. You also offer some sort of one-to-one, some personal coaching as well. You offer that service. So if I'm not mistaken, people can check that out on your website, runraw.com. Is that right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I've done that for quite a few years now. Like, I love it. Like, it's again takes loads of hours out of my week, right? But I could do that all day, every day.
Yeah,
Absolutely love it. Like, and I just love trying to make people better and seeing them get better. Like,
awesome.
and yeah, so I just absolutely love it. Like, I'm not in it to make money. Like, obviously, I do make money from it. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie, to say I don't, obviously, but I think like if you look online, there's so many. Just about every other person's some type of coach now, and I think like not even just running like PT whatever, but
yeah,
pretty obvious like what ones are there to make money and what ones aren't. Like, but yeah, I think yeah, I just absolutely love it. Like, just love seeing people race, love seeing people getting better, and I just like to be part of that. Like, I just really like people improving, and I just love running so much, and I want to get
yeah.
involved in anyone getting better. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I absolutely love it. Like,
Brilliant. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not that we've actually agreed anything, but as you know, we've got a massive following now that we're the biggest running podcast in Scotland. But I'm sure we can offer 10% off to any of our listeners for their first month with you. I'm sure that'll work, wouldn't it?
yes, that's right. Give us a shout.
Good man, good man. Right, then tell us about the Capital Breakfast Club there, or the Capital Run Club. What's going on there?
Yeah, so I think that started in January. So I'm a Capital listener anyway. Like, I'm not just saying that because I'm affiliated to them now. Like, I listen to their breakfast show. So they were talking about running one day. And the presenter at the time, well, he's still a presenter, Fat is his name. He was talking about a running starting a running club, and I can't remember the actual conversation. I think he said something like, "I've got no idea what to do." So my wife again texted in to say, "My husband runs a running club. He'll help you." So then they phoned her. She was on the radio, unbeknownst to me, agreeing that I would start a running club in Glasgow and Edinburgh with them. So, so then they got in touch with me, and just said, "Look, we want to start a running club for our listeners. Like, can you help?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's talk about it." So again, that's a kind of similar theme to Run Raw, like it's under the capital name.
Yeah,
Obviously, but like the sessions are written by me, taken by me, and that's the same thing. Like that's free as well, and they're all time based as
is
well.
it
So that's
Glasgow Green? Is it? Sorry, Dave.
sorry.
Is it Glasgow Green? Sorry, is that where it's?
Yeah, it's Glasgow Green just now. So we were doing Glasgow and Edinburgh, but it's just going to be focusing on Glasgow now. And initially it was once a month, but hopefully it'll be more regular in Glasgow just to get a bit of momentum because once a month is it's quite long between it. So, but that's the same theme, like just running wee loops. And a time-based session just again for anyone. And that's a good mix as well. You know, there's some people that have came along to that have never run in their life,
Yeah,
and there's some people that come along that are again pretty handy. So yeah, it's just kind of along the same theme. So it's pretty good, quite a cool thing to be involved in, and
awesome.
they're keen to keep it going, and as am I. So yeah, it's good. Aye, so all good.
Nice one.
Nice. I mean, yeah, and go back to, I know what you mean. There is, you see some things out there, and there is people out there just looking to make money. And like I seen,
Oh, sorry, you broke up a bit.
oh, hello, can you hear me now? Hello,
Oh, sorry, you broke up a bit.
hello, you hear me now? All good?
Aye, sorry, I can hear
Yeah,
you. Aye, sorry.
awesome. Don't know what went on there. No, I know what you mean. There is a couple of people out there you see online. They're just there to make money out of people
Go
who
on,
maybe,
again. Uh,
I can hear you
sorry,
fine, Sean.
oh,
sorry. Let me change my internet connection to.
I see, I see.
No worries.
Sometimes my Wi-Fi drops out. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'll just change it on my. I might drop off for a second and appear back.
That's
No.
cool. That's cool. Who's your Wi-Fi provider, Pete?
Mine is Sky now.
Love.
It was Virgin Media, but they were shite, so it's now Sky.
All right. I'm the Virgin, and the Virgin box is right outside my house, so that's how I get good Wi-Fi.
We know you are, Sean. We know you are.
Yeah, great Wi-Fi. It's like 400 megabytes a second. It's just great.
Right, I should be back now. Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, like you're saying earlier on, you just want to help people get into running, etc. and that as well. And I've seen a few things online that there is people out there who are just wanting to make money off of people. And it's like they kind of it's not vulnerable people, but people they don't have a clue where to start, and they go, "Oh, I can help you," and they're putting on like, yeah, like like, yeah, come and meet me, come meet this group at this time, and for one couch to 5K session a week, it's or like one couch to 5K sessions a week. So there's 4 sessions a month is 60 quid a month, and you're like, are you serious? Like you can
Aye,
get couch to 5K, you can do it for free online.
yeah,
It's like it's pretty bad. So it's good when they hear people like yourself, they're doing it for just for the love of getting
aye,
people back into it and getting people into it and getting it being active.
yeah. Aye, and do you know, that's what about. And I've said to so many people like run's given me so much. Like I get so much out of it, and I just want to, yeah, I just want other people to feel that.
Brilliant.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But no, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave.
I've really enjoyed it. And again, I'm just to state on the episode, I'm never going to be doing an ultra, never, never ever. But I like
You know who
the
else has said they're never going to do an ultra?
Pete Tucker.
Everyone that has never done an ultra. Ends up doing one.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I've just got too much unfinished business at distances between 3K up to the marathon. That's
Sean,
all.
get yourself down to Argyle Park on a Monday at 5:30 and chat with the main man himself, and maybe you'll change your views.
Yeah,
Uh,
get into it.
Let's see. I've got Spanish on a Monday though.
Spanish on a Monday.
Spanish. I'm sorry, guys. Not unless I could maybe do a bit of both, learn Spanish at the same time.
You can run about with Duolingo on your phone.
Could do that.
You're
do
pretty
that,
much fluent now, anyway. You speak. You've got better Spanish than Gregor Yates' wee pal Miguel, and he's actually fluent. So, yeah, but no. Thanks a lot for coming on, David. And just very quickly, I have to mention this. As I said beforehand, I see you've got the bridge background there. It looks like the Renfrew Bridge to me. And we just need to give a quick shout out to Martin James from Inverclyde AC, who was officially the professional sprinter that Cassie from Clyde One referred to as the first man to cross the Renfrew Bridge. So just a quick round of applause to Martin James there. Well done, mate. So there we go.
Well done, Martin.
That's it.
Well, but Dave, thanks very much for coming on, and then
No problem, just
and good luck for the next ultras that you're doing. Hopefully, we can see you racing Pete in the future.
Yeah, I hope so. Yes. Well, if he gets an entry in for Helensburgh next week or Dumbarton on Thursday, there you go.
All right, okay. I might see you Heavens with them, but I don't fancy my chances. But hey, there you go. But no, I'll try and I'll hopefully bump into you in Dumbarton at some point. We'll get a few laps of that wee track in down there. Or maybe I'll come along to the park run one Saturday, because I know Martin Gray, my neighbour, went down as a park run tourist recently and gave that Leaven Grove park run a go. But yeah, hopefully catch up with you soon, mate. But yeah, thanks a lot. Take care.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Nice to speak to you. Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate. Bye bye.
Cheers.